Dude, how dare you? How dare you pick Kamalama Ding Dong? Totally not cool, man. Oh, what's up, everybody? Man, I got my freaking stream music is messing with me again. Damn app froze on me. This thing kills the entire stream. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm over here constantly, like, praising Streamlabs over StreamYard and shit. But this thing over here, my God, this is killing me. Let me see if I can get the music to actually shut off now. You haven't paid any attention this year? Well, hopefully you voted, man. That's all I can say. Like, I get it. You know, not everyone likes voting. Not everyone likes the options. It's an unfortunate situation where it's like... What the hell is that playing? What the hell was that? Who's this in front of the camera? You know, has a beard and stuff. Dude, okay, give it 3 weeks. I'm not kidding. By the end of November, I will have my beard back. I'm not even kidding. It won't take that long. We are sitting here. Do I know that Sile? I don't even know how to pronounce his name, Natsuno, and Smash are live right now doing. Yeah, I saw that they were streaming, but here's the thing. He has been streaming more and more lately. Smash has, but I only go live like once or twice a week. So even if it's conflicting with other people's like viewership, Monday night's my night, and then I'm gonna stream Tuesday because it's the election. I actually have a game that I got that I'm gonna play. It's like a let me pull it up here real quick. Hang on a second. Let me just go see if I can find it. KL or K? I think it's KL. The game that I have, if I can bring up my Steam on here, is Vox Populi 2024 USA. Now, based on what I've read about this game, it seems like it could be fun. It's a vote simulator. And so basically you could either use existing candidates or make your own and just make your platform whatever you want it to. I figure tomorrow night, because we're going to be having a lot of the results coming in very late or not at all. This will be like a nice little time filler tomorrow night while we're watching and waiting for shit to actually come in. So I've kind of got that on the back burner, unless things are actually popping off. If things are going like really well and the votes are actually getting tallied like they are supposed to be, even if it never actually happens, then we might just find a good source of information to watch. I'm kind of figuring I'm going to go with whatever is on Twitter, because to be honest, I can't watch Rumble streams and react to them because they're going to say shit on Rumble that I can't stream on YouTube. That's just the unfortunate nature of how things go. Oh, dude, 100%. Sounds amusing. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at this like, all right, so I'll give this a try tomorrow. I figure it's a good time waster. It only has a few reviews. Again, indie games. I'm trying to do my part to promote these indie games. Except for that last one, Oblivion. I know that you caught the stream afterwards. I think it was you that commented on it. That Sophie, whatever it was that I tried playing on Halloween. Holy crap. So they did a patch for that game after the fact and tried to fix it, right? Tried to fix some of the issues. And even though they fixed like the audio problems and some of the bugs that were happening, I tried playing another 10 minutes of the game. I'm like, this is legit the worst piece of shit game I've ever played in my life. So I just gave up at that point. I left a review on Steam. I'm like, guys, this feels like a scam. $50 for this piece of crap. There's just no way. It's not possible. That being said, let's go ahead and get started since we do have some stuff to go over. Unfortunately, I kind of suck, and I've been so busy, I haven't had time to grab all the freaking bookmarks from Twitter and all the articles that I wanted to go over tonight. You lost it when she grabbed the ledge and went into the floor. Dude, the game, so bad. $50. $50 game, all right? Something seems wrong there, especially for an independent developer that has one game. That is the only game they come out with. And based on what I read about it, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. And then I actually played it. I'm like, oh God, no, this is awful. Let me see real quick here. Hang on a second. I'd like to have a little bit of background audio, but I don't think it's going to happen. Oh God, Streamlabs is going to take a dump. I should just stop messing with it. um, that's the funny part, NS. I was like totally cool with the idea that it was from a female perspective. I was digging, you know, like again, I'm like the only person on the planet who probably thought that the Silent Hill movie was decent, and that was a female protagonist. It's not that I don't enjoy female protagonists, they just have to be done well. You've set up your PC. Hey, Natsuno, are you on our Discord? I cannot remember. Because if you're not, you could always post some pictures in the Discord if you hop on there. But $50 is steep for something. Dude, that's like a $20 game. For real. Hey, guys, something exciting happened, though. It's the first time it's happened, and don't judge me. Don't judge me for all the Christmas stuff. We put away the Halloween pillows, and so I've got the Christmas pillows on the couch. We don't have decorations out anywhere else, but I just swapped the pillows out, okay? So, that being said, the cats are both sleeping right here, and this never happens. I gotta show you. Hang on, which way? There we go. So, the big one curled up over there is the 12-pound chonker. That's Tucker, and then Ivy, his half, you know, his size sister. She's like 6 pounds. She never sleeps on the couch. This is why it's so weird. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, they're both sleeping side by side over here. Shit never happens. And my dog, he's somewhere. I don't know. I shaved him down yesterday. Poor bastard has no fur left, and I put a Christmas sweater on him. It's pretty freaking ridiculous. I love it. The dog probably hates me, but it is what it is. All right, so just a quick reminder, I do have the website, although I am starting to double up my articles on Fandom Pulse. So what I think the plan is for the Substack for Fandom Pulse, I'm going to probably have John over there post my articles on Fandom Pulse ahead of the website, and that way they're over there available first to be read. You wouldn't have known they were Christmas themed? Well, yeah. If I haven't watched Rogan's episodes of The Big Don and Vance, I watched 2.5 hours of the JD Vance interview, and I think about an hour and a half of the Donald Trump one. So, Counter-Strike. Let me get a hold of Hunter, my mod. I'm sure he's got video footage I could use. I don't play Counter-Strike, but he is all about those kind of games. I played Valorant twice because somebody begged me to play with them. And I did, and I hated every minute of it. I didn't suck at it. I just didn't like it. It was not very exciting, personally. But yeah, I'm trying to incorporate more gameplay footage back like I used to do. Before I was trying to put out more videos, I was always doing like investigative stuff and then using my own video gameplay as like background for the videos. So, I too, Oblivion. All right. So anyways, yes, the plan is when I do have new articles and stuff out on the website to take a look at, they will also be available on Fandom Pulse's Substack, which I will start linking in some of my videos, just because I want to make sure that I have those available in both places. You're assuming I'm 45? Screw you, man. Screw you. I am not 40 yet. You gotta stop with that. I am 1 2/3 years away from 40, okay? You gotta chill with that. Not even close, dude. Maybe in spirit I'm like 60, but like... You love this keypad sometimes? Oh, Oblivion, I swear to God, my phone is either retarded or it has Biden's dementia going on. I'll start typing some shit on my phone. Mind you, I have an Android, and it's through AT&T. I have no idea if it's because of who I'm with or of the phone itself, but it'll just start typing the weirdest shit. I'll try to, like, not have it autocorrect things, and it'll autocorrect things it doesn't need to correct. It's the weirdest thing. Shadow Latif, 84, thanks for following. Appreciate it. That Park Place, like, Phantom Burst. Fandom Pulse. All right, so, in case nobody here knows, Natsuno... NS, I'm pretty sure you might know. John Trent, he's the editor-in-chief over at That Park Place. He does most of their articles. He is moving over to the Substack for Fandom Pulse full-time. Come November 9th, I want to say, I think he's done with That Park Place. So I don't know who they have writing their articles there after he moves to Fandom Pulse full-time. But yeah, John Delarose is going to be paying John Trent to work for him full-time, writing all of his articles at Fandom Pulse. And I have written for Fandom Pulse back when they had the website instead of the Substack. John Delarose has been asking me to go back to writing articles for him, and so I'm trying to basically not double up my workload, but as I write articles for my website, I'm going to be having them posted to Fandom Pulse probably like 6 to 8 hours ahead of time. And then that way it goes there first, and then it'll be backed up on my website is the plan. Our phones inherit the same mental illnesses as us. All right, NS, I'm going to need you to link that, okay? Oh, dude, it starts switching to filthy words you've never used. I wish my phone would do that. Mine tries to switch like the filthy words to non-filthy words, or it'll just do the dumbest shit. I'm talking like it'll autocorrect things that don't need to be corrected. I don't understand why phones think sometimes that it needs to fix words that don't need to be fixed. I will never understand it. But that being said, all right, so I had a whole bunch of stuff brought up about frickin' Dragon Age because this is just too good. The discourse around this game has been amazing. In fact, I should have done a video on this morning instead of the one I made. I don't mind spending time investigating, information for videos and stuff, but I hate when I post it and it's not trending and it doesn't do well for views. It's kind of a sore spot for me, a big kick in the nuts. That being said, Dragon Age, the shit behind the scenes with this game just will not stop. So in case anybody hasn't seen the video that I just posted a couple hours ago, I mentioned in there Thomas Mahler, the CEO of Moon Studios, who basically raked this game over the coals, and it's fantastic to see. So this article here from John Trent, like I said, he is still at that Park Place for about 4 or 5 more days, I do believe. Talks about how the CEO, Thomas Mahler, has described Dragon Age the Veilguard's writing as infantile and terrible, which is pretty hilarious, to be honest, because as you start to piece parts of this game together and you start to realize how mentally disturbed the people working there really are, it starts to make you wonder, how is it that these consultants like Sweet Baby Inc., how is it that the narrative directors and stuff, these people didn't go to school for this, but they all have a history of working in narrative design, and they all consult on what's going to make your game great, and none of them know how to write. That's the funniest part. It's kind of like how people have pointed out that Alyssa Mercante, she pretends to be a good writer because she puts a lot of really big words into her articles, but her articles themselves are just completely demented. None of them have any bearing in reality, and again, the way they were written is almost juvenile. The game made Asmongold into Trasmongold. Yeah, so I saw that apparently to platinum, to get all the achievements in Dragon Age the Veilguard, you have to make your character transgender. Now, I don't know what point you make your character transgender. I don't know if that's something that happens in the beginning of the game. I don't know if that's something that happens later on, like a decision you make halfway through. I don't know if that's something you can edit, but apparently he got to a situation where he couldn't back out of it, and so essentially he had to go along with making his character transgender. I don't know. Crazy shit. Again, I'm not going to touch that game, so I will never know for myself. All I'll ever know is what I see in videos, and I'm not going there. I'm not touching that shit. So that being said, it says, in a recent post to X, Mahler, who is currently developing No Rest for the Wicked. I thought No Rest for the Wicked was already out. Does anybody know about that one? Pen and Pulse and Park Place are part of Gamergate Canonical. Technically, yeah. Well, okay, so God, I'm trying to remember. I started writing for Fandom Pulse. Well, here's the whole story. John Delarose and John Trent worked together at Bounding Into Comics. I'm sure you've seen people use Bounding Into Comics as a source for a lot of videos. The world's already in madness. True, but after tomorrow, it could actually end. We'll have to wait and see what happens. That being said, John Delarose and John Trent both worked there, and when the senior editor position was available, or editor-in-chief, whatever it was, John Trent thought he was going to get the job, I guess. Turns out they gave it to Spencer Bakuli, so John Trent went to that Park Place, which is run or owned by WDW Pro, who has his own YouTube channel. John Delarose went off to do his own thing. I think he might have worked for that Park Place, or he went straight from Bounding Into Comics to start his own website. And he does science fiction novels and stuff too. You thought that was the story of your life? No, dude, apparently, let me see where this goes. I don't know if this is going to go to another article or to the actual... Oh, Steam page, here we go. I have not actually spent too much time looking at this game. I'm curious about No Rest for the Wicked, to be honest. Let me unmute it. Why is there no sound? Hang on a second. Let me fix this. Because this is muted. There we go.
He's dead.
Oh, that's loud. There we go.
We find ourselves in a place we never sought. The threat of anarchy swells beneath us.
Done begging for scraps. We take what we need.
So, little backstory, the guy that made this game, Thomas Mahler, he's the one that was also in charge of Ori, The Will of the Wisps, and I can't remember what the other game is called. Oh, that's an extension, dude. I had to download an extension for Chrome for that.
A plague that spent 1,000 years.
But yeah, it really saves the eyes.
Is now clawing at our gate.
Vegetables, it festers every.
Dude, it's like Dark Souls meets Ori. It's really cool. Yeah, the art style looks really, really freaking awesome. Oh, one of the cats is meowing. Oh my god. The boy cat's gonna try to mount his sister. Tucker, no, Tucker. Tucker, no.
Thank you very much, sir.
No.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Oh my god. I don't know what has gotten up his ass lately, but my cat is super horny. Tucker, stop. Go back and lay down, dude. You're not getting it up. You've been neutered. Oh my god. You're gonna get it on PC? Yeah, I mean, I would. I'll definitely keep mine on. I've got it on my wish list. I just don't know if it's like, I like to get games on sale. I'm cheap. Or if they have them on Instant Gaming, I get them on Instant Gaming.
Is a punishment upon those who have lost their faith.
God's chosen. Listen.
Spray him with water. Methady. I don't think so, dude. I don't think you can play any Methades in this game.
History will remember how we answer. No matter the cost.
Nah, dude, this looks sick. You're right. I actually hadn't watched the full trailer before. That I'm really. Oh, the game's out. So April 18th. Yeah, it came out earlier this year. Look at that. So mostly positive. 25,000 reviews all time. Recent reviews are 187 in the last 30. 62% of the 187 user reviews in the last 30 days are positive. How much you want to bet? Because Thomas Mahler has kind of inserted himself into all this culture war stuff, and he's probably got these assholes that are just buying his game, or buying it and then refunding it, and just downvoting it. We've seen this so many times with a lot of these games. Where Soul 2. People who had been playing it for like 30 hours, and then they changed the review to negative because it's like, oh, this guy, he doesn't like pronouns in games, Yeah, no pronouns, Natsuno. Based developer. Thomas Mahler has been very, very vocal the last 4 to 6 months about a lot of this crap. So, no, you're not going to get any pronoun nonsense in that game. So yeah, anyways, Thomas Mahler says, I grew up in the 80s. Even as a young boy back then, I thought TV shows were low-effort trash because every show back then was trying to be as politically correct as possible. Every show was about happy families, always trying to paint a perfect picture, always being careful not to talk about anything that could be in the slightest bit controversial, which he might be right about the 80s, but I still remember like in some of the shows when I was growing up as a kid, they did have some more like heavy topics, or even like, okay, Roseanne, a show that I didn't find funny as a kid. We didn't watch it much growing up. That show is very relatable, despite the fact that I'm not obese, because the family is always struggling financially. The parents are always laid off. They've always got they're worried about how they're going to pay the power bill. Like, this is crap that I experienced growing up my entire life. Like, my entire childhood, it was all, my parents going from job to job and having to move and the car breaking down and then you don't have a car that works and shit. So it's like, I think there's always been shows that are more realistically based as far as not everything being perfect and wonderful. But he is right about the fact that a lot of like TV sitcoms always paint like the brightest picture that you can, and it's not exactly even close to reality. He says, then The Simpsons and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air dropped, and that stuff suddenly felt radical. Because every now and then the writers on these shows dared to approach subjects that were real, and whenever they tried that, it resulted in episodes that were memorable. I'd like to think it's because the writers managed to put some of their own experiences in there. See, they did that, I remember, with Home Improvement when I was a kid. There was an episode towards the end of Home Improvement, I think it was like the last season, probably like the last episode, where I think the oldest son had like a little bag of weed or something that they found, and it's like, yeah, it was... it didn't fit the whole flow of the show. It was very strange. Then in the late 90s, Sopranos dropped, and suddenly it was clear that TV shows didn't have to be trash, that the episodic format could actually be good. He then turned his attention to Dragon Age Velguard and said, looking at games now, it's clear to see that we're apparently moving back to the Stone Age of political correctness. I just watched a Dragon Age playthrough, and it's quite unfathomable how infantile and terrible the writing is. Everything feels sanitized and dehumanized. Now, I mentioned this in my video that I put out, but I do want to find this article and bring this up because there is something about this that I want to relate to the Life is Strange double exposure situation. Let me see if I can find the article from IGN. What is it? Sexism. If I put sexism, it'll find it. Let me see here. Oh, this is my video. Here we go. From Rebecca Valentine, who also tried to go after, again, Game Science, who made Black Myth Wukong, same author, just about 5 months after her article. And the thing about it is, the narrative director, they tried to paint in this article as being some sort of like creepy, lecherous guy. Reality is, he just was kind of like bad with women. He was kind of awkward. But he actually had a lot of the same kind of things to say as Thomas Mahler, which is why I want to bring it up. So Zach Garris was the narrative director at Deck 9 that was making Life is Strange. And so a lot of people complained that he was putting things in the game that were triggers for certain people, okay? Let me see. Let me find it here in the article. So... others recalled that he was reprimanded for asking questions about the removal of a transgender character from the game. 2 anonymous individuals told me that when Deck 9's social team wanted to post something in support of Black Lives Matter, Garris pushed back, calling the BLM a hate group. In another example, multiple people told me that Garris fought hard for a twist on True Color's final choice that a number of writers pointed out included a problematic portrayal of migrant workers and needed to be changed. It eventually was. Several sources recalled a meeting in which Garris told those who had pushed back on this decision that they were getting too hung up on political ideologies, asked everyone present to go around the room and list their political affiliations. That's pretty spicy. I would not do that. Okay. Many people told me about a scene Garris wrote for True Colors that the writers felt they had to fight him excessively hard to change. In the final script of True Colors, the main character Alex is taken into the woods by Jed, who she thinks is a friend. He betrays her, shooting her and missing, causing her to fall into an abandoned mine shaft. However, in Garris' original version, Jed spikes her drink at a bar and takes her out to the woods for an attempted murder. When they saw this version of the scene, a number of people pushed back, arguing that the scene would unintentionally trigger associations with date rape. Multiple individuals, including a number of women, recalled having to fight extensively with Garris about this scene before it was eventually changed. Okay? So again, we're seeing the same crap here. People are like, oh, you can't do that, it's too problematic. Took a 3-hour meeting in the writer's room. One of the writers shared an extremely personal story to get Zach to agree to get the content out. She added that once Garris finally agreed to take the detail out, he went on a long tangent about how the writers need to be creatively brave enough, and this is where it connects to Thomas Mahler, creatively brave enough to go to ugly places for the sake of our art. Another anonymous source recalled Garris suggesting that this pushback was only occurring because he was making a game about a woman and that he wouldn't have to deal with this if he was making a game about Nathan Drake. 100% correct. Okay. Let me see here. He would also talk about how he felt so empathetic, but he genuinely seemed to be repelled by any experience he couldn't personally identify with. If someone talked about their lived experience as a marginalized individual, his response was always, "Is that true?" Yeah, so again, he basically was like, okay, you guys are not willing to take creative risks. You guys are not being brave with your story. And every time he tried to do something, they were telling him it's a trigger, you know? You saw Pornhub? No, you didn't. You did not. Let me see, what did you say? Burn it to the ground. Yeah, nothing good here. The game has gone dog shit. Yeah. No, dude, honestly, and again, I know that we even have some people like, I want to say Mahendra over on our Discord server. He talked about how he's played all the Life is Strange games and basically that he's, you know, a big fan of them. But even this newest one, he's not going to touch. And again, it's not about the games having gay or lesbian characters. I've stated many times that that's not something that I personally would be interested in. But there are people who are not pro-woke pronoun nonsense who enjoyed the first few games. But once you get people in here who are not creative, who are not willing to be creative, who are not willing to take risks in their storytelling, and everything is safe and sanitized, it turns into immature, childish dog shit, is what we're seeing with Dragon Age. And that's 100% what they have going on over there. He says, I don't know why we're suddenly thinking that this is okay. Your job as a writer is to write about things that are heartfelt, interesting, and true, to draw people into that world you created. And if this is the best you can come up with, you shouldn't be a writer in the first place. And again, same kind of situation that happened over at Deck 9 Studios. You had a bunch of writers who were so hung up on their feelings and their sensitivities that they were afraid to write a good story. I hate to sound so harsh because I'm sure these people had the best intentions in mind, but this is what happens when art is created by amateurs. When we have to walk on eggshells and don't care to approach difficult subjects, you end up with a bland and bad product instead of art.
You're a gentleman.
Again, 100% true. Yo, is this the guy that actually found the video footage? Loreno Jose Gutierrez is it Vallania? I think I pronounced that correct. I think Lorena Gutierrez is the one that actually has the video footage that I used in my video earlier today. So if that is him, welcome aboard, dude. Someone named SN who is going to pirate all the woke games and no one could stop him if they tried. Yeah. Totally not anybody we know here. You know, it's funny. I have never, and this is not me saying it to cover my ass, I've never pirated a game. I've, like, in the past, my family, we copied movies off of TV onto VHS tapes. We did all sorts of shit, you know? It's not like I've never copied a disc or burned a disc from the library or from a friend or downloaded music online through, like, a messenger app or LimeWire and that kind of crap. But I've never actually pirated a game. But I personally do not give a shit at this point if people do. If they did add the Grey Warden hero, they'd be ruined in Velgard. Dude, yeah, I mean, I need to go back and play the original games. I've said before, I only played the Dragon Age games each one time through. I didn't touch the DLC. So for me, it's like, once I completed each story, I was like, wow, that was awesome. And then I was on to the next, like, a year later or whatever. So I don't have, like, the best memory when it comes to the storyline for each game. But the Grey Wardens, I freaking loved. I loved that story. I think that was the first game, right? So for me, that was probably my favorite out of the three. Ooh. It's going to be a long couple of nights. We're going to have a long freaking stream tomorrow night. I have no idea how long I'm staying up. They couldn't even convince you to pirate a woke game. Hey, Vernon, how's it going, dude? An hour lecture on problematic gender assumptions while the Darkspawn would be burning down the world. Dude, you freaking remember? It's like the Trials of the Grasses for the Witchers, where it's like, again, they give you the cup, the one guy dies, and it's like, nope, you have to go, we're starting this thing, you're not going to quit. The guy tries to quit, they stab him, and then they're onto your character. It's like, wow, this is a bad turnover in this job. Once upon a time, LimeWire wasn't illegal. Dude, I spent a lot of time on LimeWire, and I am amazed that my computer never got any viruses. Like, legit. I mean, it had viruses, like the usual virus kind of crap, but never, like, bricked my computer by downloading shit on LimeWire. Maybe I was just lucky, I don't know. Let's see. So anyways, I found this clip on Twitter from Greg Miller, who's one of these talking heads. I can't remember which of the networks he's with, which of the freaking industries.
Do I need to be liked?
Dude, NS. Starting early, man.
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked.
Hey, we got Cloud Strife as a member now.
Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being.
Oh, you gifted Moxie one. Cool. We'll see if she sees that or not. I know she's streaming right now with Words of Paradise. Thanks, dude. You are a rock star as always. It's really funny. I don't know why everybody has a certain color by their name. Sometimes it's members and sometimes it's not. It's really strange. Anyways, so this is Greg Miller. I know he's been around a while. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, he's from Kinda Funny. That's where I recognize him from. Him. So there's that. He is just like completely on board with all this shit. Check this out.
I was very happy when Tosh said that they are a they. I liked seeing them lean into that. So many of the Kinda Funny audience are non-binary or trans. And
so that's why I never watch Kinda Funny, apparently, because I'm not trans or non-binary. Imagine saying so many of the audience, right? I know, right? Cloud Strife. There you go. I am not racist. I notice things. That's all. But this dude right here, I swear to God. Oh my God.
And over the years, as that for some reason has had to become an issue on the grand scale of things.
Let me ask you guys a question. Is this disingenuous or is he stupid? Because I generally believe these people are just disingenuous. That's my take on it. I believe these people are intentionally deceptive, that they are intentionally lying and gaslighting. I always have been of the opinion that these people cannot be that stupid, that they have to realize it's not about you guys wanting to... Look, I was telling my kids, because we've had to go over a lot of this stuff recently. Unfortunately, we're at an age now where my kids have heard enough pieces and seen some stuff in commercials on TV that I have to explain all this crap to them, right? So my twins are not quite 10 yet. My oldest kid, he's turning 12 pretty soon here. And so I'm having these conversations with them about certain things. And I'm like, look, guys, when I was a kid, when I was young, I was like, okay, we had transvestites. It was not a slur. It was just a thing. The cross-dressers. They were not considered transgender. A lot of them were straight heterosexual men who just kind of got off on dressing like women. We didn't have to have another label for it. There was none of this gender identity crap. There was none of this confusion about their orientation. 99% of the time, a dude dressing in drag was a straight guy that had a kink, okay? This whole idea that people that are drag queens now are transgender or non-binary, or that it's all these weird fetish kink, like furry crap, the polyamorous, demisexual garbage, we didn't have any of that. It was very simple. And so I look at this kind of crap and go, look, you can say, oh, we've had this large audience of these blah, blah, blah type people. It's like, okay, we're not saying that they haven't existed. Sure, there's always been one or two oddballs who think that they're different from the rest of the group. Nobody went after them and attacked them. It was just they were the outlier. We didn't try to cater society to those people. I mean, that's the thing. We just went on with our daily lives. Sure, some asshole would go and pick on somebody, whatever. But we all, for the most part, just kind of got along and did our own thing. Hey, they race swap humans and elves in Dragon Age with no lore. They're Asian black. Dude, they did the same thing in Rings of Power. They did the same thing in The Witcher. It doesn't make any sense. Now, if you're going to have a race of dark elves, makes sense. If you're going to have a race of, dark dwarves, it makes sense. But if they are just black and white and Asian dwarves or black and white and Asian elves, it doesn't work that way with fantasy races. Humans, sure, as long as those human races already exist. If there are no human races that are Asian, then you can't have an Asian human or elf in a Lord of the Rings story. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, we were told to be polite and just treat them like people. And yeah, sure, you'd see somebody kind of snicker or chuckle or whatever, and you just kind of go, we had this dude, I keep telling this story. When I was a kid, our local Costco over here, this guy was like 6.5 feet tall. He walked into Costco with a wig, fake boobs, mini skirt, shaved legs, high heels. You could not notice the guy. And nobody ever went and attacked him. Nobody ever went and yelled in his face. You just kind of laughed quietly to yourself. You say, don't point, don't stare, and you went on with your day, you know? Much more base term for cross-dressers back in the day. Well, NS, that word's always existed, but it's the fact that now everything applies. There are so many different types of people that just have so many different issues. Hey, Mahendra, we were just talking about you not too long ago. Yeah, election day, almost officially election day here. I got like 2 hours to go. Tomorrow night stream, guys, I'm really hoping it goes late because I'm gonna have a bad feeling if they call the election too early. I feel like if they call it like 1 o'clock in the morning my time, that'll be the sweet spot where we know there's not gonna be too many shenanigans. They call it like 3 hours after the polls close, or if they call it 2 days later, Trump's out. I mean, I think we all pretty much know that by now. That's just not going to be good for him. But that being said, I want to finish this video real quick here.
I have been so blessed to know you, non-binary best friends, to know you, trans best friends. In the same way, you know, I can think back to the first people I ever met in the...
This is him saying, I have a black friend. You catching this? I'm so blessed to know you, my trans and non-binary best friends. Who?
The LGBTQ community, right? And how impactful that was on me to have these conversations and have people help guide me in terms of how to help, what to do, how to be an ally. And so I feel like...
God, I hate that term, ally.
It's so depressing right now to see people struggle and not understand what's happening and demonize you. I hope that fiction like this on a mainstream AAA platform helps. I hope that, you know, movies and literature and everything else is able to give a window in to what this is. Shockingly, this isn't a big fucking deal to support someone I love when they want to go do something that has no effect on.
If you love somebody, why would you want them to ruin their life? Which is what I will always go back to. I will never understand this. Oh, Hypnotic came in here with a good meme. I'm like, yeah, celebrating mental illness is so virtuous. Hypnotic's like, how this effing guy feels right now. Dude, seriously, this is like the liberal white women who go and try to be the savior of the minorities, and the minorities are like, what are you doing? Get away from me. And they're like, no, I have to save you. You can't help yourself. Yeah, just absolutely pathetic. So a lot of what he's talking about came out today. And Romanian V, put out this tweet here, but it's in regards to Tasha's notes that were leaked in this video from Laureano Gutierrez, who I do believe is the one that just subscribed. Again, appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you finding this video. It's very helpful. So the video, if you guys haven't watched my video, Grums shared this also earlier. In the codex for the game, they have this on here, where in the, I believe it's the, where is it? The Lords of Fortune. This codex from Tosh, the non-binary Kunari, who, by the way, is a very weird character. Forget about the fact that they decide to make the game where you can make your characters hideous, have the chest scars, and everything else to make them look like mutants. And then you also have the ability to be like transgender. It's like, okay, are you trying to make non-binary and transgender people look like freaks? What is the purpose of this in the game, right? Furthermore, they have this in here for Tasha's notes. Basically rambling to themselves, herself, but again, themselves, about all this trans and non-binary stuff. And it reads basically like somebody who is themselves like a Redditor who decides to upload their diary online. It is completely incoherent garbage. And again, I don't want to have to read all of it because it's pretty rough to read because it's all broken sentences and shit. And those people call Japanese people white. Dude, they call like 90% of Asian people white adjacent. Well, if they obey the rules, follow the laws, don't interfere with anybody else's lives, and, you know, kind of like they're successful, go to school, get good grades, have businesses. Yeah, all those Asians are white adjacent if they kind of fall into that criteria. But Japanese have it especially bad, that's true. Here, I need to get a cough drop real quick so I can keep talking. Give me 1 second. Yo, the cats are still there. This is too freaking cute. It's gotta be because I swapped the pillows and blankets out, so they're like, oh, something new. Reads like a dumb 11-year-old who made a diary based on deviant art threads. They read, yeah, that's the deviant art, Tumblr kind of crap. That's exactly it. Same kind of stuff. But again, I'll just kind of give you the footnotes here. Trans means was other gender, then changed. Wait, no. Was always new thing, just now acknowledged, not changing, affirming. Trans woman is woman. Could feel comfortable with girls who act more feminine. No, I like girls. Girls smell good. Again, just weird shit, guys. Absolutely weird stuff. Velgard fell short of the 90,000 mark. Cat's proof of life confirmed. Yeah. No, you probably can't see too well, but Tucker, the fat boy, he's like all stretched out, head twisted, arms like as far out as they can go. Damn cats like to sleep with their head like rolled around. It's the funniest thing. Let me find, in fact, let me see here. Hang on a second. Don't want to see. The worst part is the fact that we really didn't even do anything for Halloween, okay? Dude, I'm not even kidding. Like next year, my wife and I, we've already talked to the kids. We're like, yeah, before Halloween, if we're going to pay money for costumes or dress up, we are going to go somewhere before Halloween, actually use our costumes, and then we'll go back trick-or-treating with the kids. If, at that point, I don't even know. The twins will be 10. I don't even know that they're going to really want to trick-or-treat at that point. Maybe they still will. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's just demented stuff. Agender, bigender, demigender, others. A lot of different ones. Not me, but okay. Never too late. Valid even if no words when younger. Blah, blah, blah. Again, this doesn't... somebody was saying, I think Smash JT or Grums saying that this was like notes that were written and accidentally left in the game by a developer or a writer. I don't think so. I think this is intentional. This is supposed to read like this character Tosh is rambling and writing down their thoughts on a piece of paper or something. I don't believe that this is accidentally left in the game. Dude, they hate anything that's not hideous. Okay. But yeah, so this is what we're talking about here. And so, where's V at? Where is V? Was he back here? What did I do with Romanian V? Where did I put him? There we go. Okay. I like girls. Girls smell good in a notebook is like creepy stalker dude language. Dude, I was saying, and I probably didn't, pretty sure you used to maintain a diary like that, but it had more slurs and less venting. I might not have properly formulated my thought in my video earlier, but it reads like the kind of stuff you'll find in a manifesto, like what they found from the Nashville shooter, you know? The kind of like drugged out, aimless ramblings of somebody who is completely unhappy and miserable and looking for some sort of like validation in life. And you know they're not going to find it. You know they're not going to find it. They're going to be miserable, and eventually they're going to do something insane and hurt a bunch of people. Sounds like a real incel word, yeah. Oh, well, the character, dude, it's not just the things she says. The character itself comes across really creepy. I don't remember if I have any of the videos of the way that Tosh acts in the game, but the like super aggressive crap that she does is absolutely, it's super weird, dude. So V says this right here, print it, screen it, frame it. This is why they don't want female characters in video games with big breasts or good hip waist to hip ratio. This is why they call straight men coomers if they don't like men in wigs like you see in Concord. This is why they shame you if you don't like the man jaw. It's about gender ideology and abolition. They simply feel uncomfortable around femininity and women. This is why they remove the word woman in favor of body type A, body type B. These people are more misogynist than Andrew Tate can ever dream of becoming. Never allow them to shame you again for being a straight man who likes femininity in women. They need you to play along so the activists can feel good about themselves. They need your suffering and shame so they can be happy. Do not give in. Which is really funny because we've seen a lot of crap like this. All right, no worries, Oblivion. We've seen a lot of crap like this with things like Warhammer and the freaks, the weirdos who have gotten invested in Warhammer, who have basically infested the hobby. So right here, this original post says, it's from Vice from 2019. Women of Warhammer, their finest work. We spoke to female fans about their passion for the game and whether its male-dominated landscape is changing. Okay. You would think this is satire. All right. But they spoke to female fans. What do you notice in that picture? Okay. She's weird as F. I would have let her die if I had a choice in the game. Oh, Natsuno, I can't remember. Are you playing Veilguard? I think you said you were, right? Yeah. Yeah, female Warhammer fans there, Natsuno. Okay. That's interesting looking female. What I can't believe is my sore throat, coughing, all that kind of stuff is still not gone yet. Yeah, hey Vernum, it's pretty bad. I'm not going to repeat what Snowy Era here says, or Haley, she goes by on Twitter, but very based, very much right, spot on. Not YouTube friendly. All right. So there's been some more information that Master of the TDS has dug up on Sweet Baby Inc., and I have not watched the video yet, so I kind of figured we could watch that video real quick and then jump into the Trump Kamala election stuff in a minute here. So quick reminder, guys, Instant Gaming link is down below. Giveaway for this month is live. So I think last month we had almost 500 people signed up for the giveaway. Remember to do that. You don't have to pay any money. You don't have to buy anything. Just have to have an account. And then click on the link down below. You can get signed up for the giveaway. So I still got to remember to actually pick up Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I got to remember to get that before they run out of copies, because that's one I'm really looking forward to. Oh, dude, they got Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut now. Oh, man. Now I got to... I have a little bit of money banked on there. I could put some money towards this and pick this up. I should pick up Ghost of Tsushima. I should play that. Anyways, let's get to this video from Gothic Therapy, Master of the TDS, and his wife. Through a Space Wolf initiation, yeah. Quite a looker, what can I say? So, disclaimer, I have not watched this yet, so I have no idea what this actually entails. They also had a really good ratio going. It was 350 likes to 0 dislikes when I first clicked on the video. Now they have 2 dislikes, which I hate to see, but still a damn good ratio. All right, can we skip the commercials, please?
Oh, he's too nice.
A Sweet Baby rep went after Kabrutus's list,
Yet the company acts like it doesn't exist.
with threats to burn down games and bold demands.
Their origins hint at chaos planned.
Real quick, I do find it interesting how we're still getting new information about Sweet Baby Inc. like 6-8 months later, even after all this shit blew up. Now, I remember Yellow Flash started talking about Sweet Baby Inc. back in 2023, and that's when I started noticing some of the shit in their games, and I swear I talked about them a little bit before I started making videos like full time. But it's just crazy how much more we keep finding out. Like every day there's something new.
All right, guys, are you ready to see what I have to show you guys?
No, you're not, but you're gonna be ready anyway.
So, as I said, took a long time for me to do, and I hope you guys appreciate it, because it took a lot of work.
I do. I appreciate it. I was the one who kept telling you to take a break, and you were like, no, I need to get this done. I need to get this done.
Here we are.
I imagine his wife drinks like 10 cups of coffee a day. Man, I wish I had that kind of energy without being caffeinated.
As you can see, this is a complete timeline of Sweet Baby Inc.
Dude, what is this Miro app? Okay, before I get deviated too far away, I keep seeing people like using this. Is this what you make for like connecting these threads and stuff? Because if so, I need to use that, because a lot of times for articles, I'll be trying to like string my information together to actually formulate an article and make everything kind of connect. And it helps for videos too. But that is insane.
Is literally, as I'll zoom in here, you can see it starts from 2011 till 2025. And it maps out everything, including where they started, where they are now. It has every single member of, these are all the people, you see that the pink lines here, these are all the people who are involved with the podcast.
Whoa.
And what they're linked to. And then we have down here every single public member of Sweet Baby Inc. that is currently available, and where they worked, and how they're connected. As you can see, there are a ton of them.
I recognize a bunch of those.
We're going to start off at the beginning. Everybody's asked the question, where did Sweet Baby Inc.
Oh, you got some good chocolate over there? Dude, okay, NS, I gotta ask, because I love milk chocolate. I'm not a big chocolate guy, like, it's not my go-to. A good candy bar, though, like a good chocolate bar, 100 grand, Milky Way, those kind of things, I'm totally down for that. But do you prefer, like, dark chocolate or milk chocolate? Because for me, personally, I cannot do dark chocolate. I can't stand it. Milk chocolate is about as dark as I'll go.
Come from? Well, I'm about to answer that question for you. Are you ready? Here we are. In 2011, we have Ariane McGilvery, or Ari McGilvery.
That is a weird name, too, and I've seen that a few times. Ariadne McGillivray. Like, what the hell, man? You just, like, cursed your poor child.
The job at a company called Blind Ferret, or Blind Ferret Entertainment.
Blind Ferret.
As you can see, there's something interesting about Blind Ferret Entertainment. These are their clients. Apple, Netflix, Nintendo, Sega, Team 17,
You like the bitter, huh?
Activision Blizzard, Riot Games, Disney,
Wow.
Ubisoft, and Gameloft. Now, why am I bringing this up? So, okay, well, maybe Sweet Baby Inc. comes from some of those connections. But how could we prove it? We can prove it because in 2013, a book was created called Pure Steel. It is a hardcover book, and it was created by Ariadne McGilvery and Kim Belair.
Whoa, wait. Okay, hang on a second. What the hell? Is this, like, available on Amazon? Pure Steel? Oh my god. It has 2 reviews. You gotta see this shit. Hang on a second. Just gotta make sure I'm not doxing myself. Yeah, it's got my address on it. Sorry, guys. I'm not gonna bring that over here. I'll just do a Google search. But yeah, it's on Amazon. Holy crap. On Goodreads. Okay. Here we go. When an aging treasure hunter goes missing in darkest Africa, his daughter Eleanor recruits the world's greatest explorer to hunt him down. Set in 1910, Pure Steel is the story of a ramshackle expedition to the heart of the Dark Continent, told in its own words. Part satire, part loving homage to pulp adventure, Pure Steel is an illustrated romp that brilliantly captures the spirit of the era with the winking wit of the modern day. Authored and illustrated by Ariadne McGillivray and Kim Belair, with additional illustrations by blah, 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 blah. A bunch of names. Dude, get off your sister. Tucker. God, he is so freaking horny. My God. Kim Belair has 3 books. Hang on a second. Pure Steel, Marie, Texas, Le Année de Balimer. I don't speak freaking French, but what? Member photo? There's members here? Anton, white chocolate's not chocolate. It's just vanilla flavored candy. Actually, I don't know if it's vanilla. What is it flavored with? What does white chocolate flavoring come from? I know it's fake. Is this like a romance novel? What the hell is this? There's no information on it. Holy crap. So, I mean, okay. So narrative design, all that kind of stuff makes sense. She's a writer. That I can wrap my brain around. But very strange that she wrote this book with this other gal. That's a very weird coincidence. Better for you with your Crohn's? Yeah, hey, Vernum, honestly, I should be better about what I actually put in my body. But because I've got Crohn's too, and mine's pretty well regulated with the Stelara I take, I swear to God, I would love to have my doctor tell me that I can get off of Stelara entirely, and then I would just switch my diet to some shit like carnivore diet or something, cut out anything that can cause any inflammation. Problem for me is lack of time to invest in food prep, meal prep, and swapping out every freaking ingredient that I use. Like, I can't even imagine trying to only use like milk, butter, meat, and coffee. I mean, I could live off that if I need to. There's no question there.
Look who the publisher is. Blind Ferret Entertainment.
Okay, so hang on.
as you can see, it was Blind Ferret. However, we talked also about these.
So the co-author worked at Blind Ferret 2 years previous. I don't know if she worked there at the time that the book was published or not.
Podcasts that Sweet Baby Inc. were involved in right here.
Yeah, Verno, I developed Crohn's later in life. I always had some stomach issues, but I got it later in life. It flared up about 3-4 years ago. It really kind of started kicking my ass. Every 6 months or so, I'd have like a stress-induced flare-up, which would last for a few weeks at a time. It got to the point where about 3 years ago, it got so bad that I spent 2 months, a month and a half, unable to keep anything in my body. Lost about 10 pounds I didn't have to lose. I could basically touch my backbone through my stomach. Ended up in the hospital for like 4 or 5 days before they got me on Humira, which then they switched me over to Stelara, and now I'm peachy as far as that goes. Yeah. Still, it tastes better than dark chocolate. Hey, I'm not arguing with you there, Anton. I'm not a fan of dark chocolate by any stretch of the imagination.
The Sexiest Podcast and the WrestleGamia Podcast. But did you know there
Okay,
was
so this I talked about this in my other video. Yeah, apparently she started the Sexiest Podcast in 2016, and then the 2017 thing, that's weird because she decided to also make a WrestleMania-inspired podcast, which is a very strange deviation.
third podcast that nobody's found but me. Here we are. In 2012, they launched a podcast that was called the Watchtower Podcast.
Tell them what that podcast did.
The podcast says mission to bring you funny and entertaining stuff as well as the latest and greatest news and views from the world of comics. We don't just talk about the books, we talk about the comic culture from music to fashion to even relationships. And
Watchtower Radio, that almost sounds familiar. Oh yeah, no, hey Vernum, I'm rocking. I'm good as far as my Crohn's goes. I hate that I have to take Stelara once every 2 months. I don't like sticking a needle in my stomach. That's very it's not a pleasant experience, but it keeps me up and moving. And honestly, the only thing that I have to suffer through now is my damn herniated disc in my back. Eventually, I'm going to have back surgery to fix that too, and then I should be like good to go. We'll see.
it talks about when they were founded and when they did all this stuff. But as you can see, let's see who this show is about. It talks about different shows. Monday, while you're at work, and it says some people have to actually work, so they don't have time to explore them. Jeff and Ari McGilvery, talk about this. And we had Donnie Coulter and Jeff Moss. Now, Donnie Coulter is a radio producer in Toronto, and he actually used to work for News Talk, but it was a talk show in the morning, so it's interesting. There's another connection here. Jeff Moss actually connects to a very strange rabbit hole, which I still have to explore. Let's go into the most important part here. So what did I say? I said that they had gotten involved here. Okay? But something people don't really know is in 2014 was when the first Gamergate happened. Obviously involved Zoe Quinn, Brianna Wu, and Anita Sarkeesian. And as you can see, it led to the founding of sites like Feminist Frequency. But it also led to a company called Weird Ghosts.
Right, and Weird Ghosts, we talked about them. This video about Weird Ghosts is where I got most of you guys subscribed to my channel back in March. And that's the funding that happened from Alec Holovka's death to fund Sweet Baby Inc. So I didn't realize that there was a connection in there to Feminist Frequencies specifically.
And we will get back to them shortly. In 2016, they started the Sexiest Podcast, right? We know this is where the Bowser fascination came from and whatever. What you don't know is, now I know Savvy did some work on this, but as you could see, I have mapped out every single episode and every single person who worked on it, and they all share something in common. They're
all retarded. Yeah, the COVID situation made it weird. I had to have them do the brain scrambler swab just to get myself admitted into the hospital that year, because it was back 2021, I think, is when I had my big flare up, November-ish. And so that being said, my brother has colitis, so I've got Crohn's and he's got colitis, and they've had him on steroids, I guess, for like months because Humira stopped working for him. I was asking my mom, because I haven't talked to my brother much recently. I'm like, why don't they get him on Stellara? And she doesn't even know if they've tried to like apply for it. He's a cop. I don't know if it's an insurance issue or what the deal is there.
Single one of these people, except for the handful, all of them work at Ubisoft.
Whoa.
Dun, dun, dun.
You see these pink lines? Every single one maps to a person who was on the show who works for Ubisoft. Now, some
Whoa. Okay, that's crazy. I did not expect that connection. I knew Ubisoft was kind of like central to a lot of this, but holy crap, that's crazy.
of them work for more than just Ubisoft. We also have Compulsion Games, EA, Reflector Studios, Warner Brothers Games in Montreal.
Yep.
bioware, more Warner Brothers
All
games,
the usual suspects.
Elastic Games, Brass Lion Entertainment, Compulsion Games, EA. Interesting, huh? All these connections. Now, where did they come from? You might say, well, they must have come from Kim Belair, right?
You would think they all come from Kim Belair because of her connections through Ubisoft, and you would think, oh, she just invited all of her coworkers to join her in her endeavors.
Kim Belair was hired and was working for Ubisoft for a while, but how did she get hired from Ubisoft?
One
Well,
giant,
it is my
disgusting
belief
club.
that this company right here had something to do with it, because it's interesting. As you can see, Blind Ferret has Ubisoft, and Ariane McGilvery is one of the founding members of Sweet Baby Inc., and she was working there way before, and they made a book together. But here's where the connections gets interesting. At the end of 2018, when Sweet Baby Inc. was founded, Blind Ferret Entertainment rebranded as Laughing Dragon Studios. However, you will see that they are an animation studio that has worked for Death Battle. Now,
So yeah, I mean, Blind Ferret. I don't think he mentioned them doing animation previously. So that's not just a rename. That's like a whole rebrand entirely. No, Canada didn't start wokeness. To be honest, I mean, look, I bring it up a lot in my videos. It just seems like Montreal, Canada, the UK has a ton of that shit. But if we're really gonna like blame somebody, California, the West Coast, parts of the United States, we really promoted it all over the world. Yeah, other countries adapted it and ran with it, but we really are the ones who kind of like pushed it out there.
what's Death Battle? Is a popular web series, and it by Rooster Teeth, hosted on a Death Battle YouTube channel, formerly known as Screw Attack.
Dun,
Huh.
dun, dun.
Who do we know who works at Screw Attack? Stuttering Craig, you got some splaining to do. It must have. It's actually an interesting thing because I don't believe they got fully involved until after he left. But it's still interesting to look at. But there's more, guys. And this is something that I don't think people realize.
I wonder if they asked Craig about that, if he knew anything about that at the time, about that show. San Francisco and Portland, pretty much Synomics. That's, yeah. Oh, and
A
don't
lot
forget
of people have
Seattle.
talked about
Got to blame my
Baby
state, too.
Ghosts. Baby Ghost is a subsidiary of Weird Ghosts, right? Which, as we spoke about before, is a company that came out of Gamergate 1. What you may not know, or some people do know, is that at the end of 2023, Sweet Baby Inc. joined Baby Ghost. As you can see here, today we celebrate the 7 studios joining cohort 3 of Baby Ghosts. And as you can
And
see,
right there, you can see Sweet Baby.
now, some people knew about this connection, some people didn't. But what you didn't know is this happened a couple months before Gamergate 2. As you
Oh, okay, so it was right after he left then. All right. Well, then, yeah, I'm sure he probably wouldn't have any information about that then.
see, 11 months ago, it would have taken place right at the end of 2023, and Gamergate 2 started within a couple months. So within a couple months of receiving and joining Baby Ghosts, Chris Kindred would go on to kick off the entire Gamergate 2. But only a couple months after Baby Ghost, they joined Baby Ghost. This is a really weird coincidence, isn't it?
There is no such thing as coincidence.
To gain funding from a place right before, a couple months before Gamergate 2 gets thrown off, and then to be involved with the company from the first Gamergate. It's all been connected all the time, guys. But so where did
Well, for me, some of these connections aren't a shock because some of this information is stuff that we already knew. like the connection between Weird Ghosts and Baby Ghosts. Like I said, I wasn't the only one making videos about this. There was a ton of other channels that covered the connection, the funding between SBI, Weird Ghosts, Baby Ghosts, all that. What I find fascinating, like the part for me that I find amazing, is the connection back from that Blind Panda place, whatever the hell that was called, and the connection to everybody at Ubisoft. That's fascinating. That's really crazy.
Sweet Baby Inc. come from? Simple. It got funding from the same places that people got from Gamergate 1.
Oh, Blind
but
Ferret.
It started right here at Blind Ferret. That's where I believe it started. And that's probably how they got some of their contracts. And then it spiraled from there to Ubisoft. We can at least definitively say that Sweet Baby Inc. is 100% connected to Ubisoft. As you see these pink lines here, all of these pink lines, our pink represents the Sexiest podcast, okay? All of these people who appeared on the Sexiest podcast, they're all connected to Ubisoft. So we can know definitively that.
Yeah, like I said, that Ubisoft thing, that is the craziest connection out of this entire thing. Sure, there's other connections here and there. Some that we know about, some that we didn't. Some that he probably still has to investigate. Because like I said, I mean, he mentioned in his video that the rabbit holes, once you start going down them, it takes a while. And sometimes you hit a roadblock and there's just not much there. But yeah, there's some crazy connections there.
Is probably something that was born of Ubisoft. But I believe that Blind Ferret Entertainment was where it began. And yeah, that's what I have to show you guys. Maybe it wasn't as dramatic or cool as you guys thought, but like...
No, I think honestly he did a great job. So kudos to Master of the TDS. That was fantastic. Do you think this could have all been prevented? I mean, define prevented. They like to throw the term grifter out there. Grifter gonna grift, right? Kim Blair obviously was out there peddling her wares, trying to do whatever she could to become famous and relevant for years now, going back almost 11 years, 12 years, something like that. So could you prevent it? No. God, that really... People have started to realize, okay, the only way to really fix a lot of this stuff is to stop spending our money. This has worked with like Disney Plus boycotts and Netflix boycotts and boycotts of Dr. Pepper or Diet Pepsi or root beer or whatever the current thing is that has a Pride logo on it, or John Deere tractors or Harley Davidson. Target. I didn't go to Target for like 6 months after the whole Satan clothing Pride month crap that they did earlier this last year. And they responded with, okay, we're not going to push the Pride crap anymore. So, boycotts do work. So is it preventable? Was it preventable? Yeah, to a degree, if people had known about it at the time. But the problem is now we're at the point where things have been gaslit to where, yeah, the Bud Light boycott with Dylan Mulvaney. People are just being gaslit at this point. We're trying to do the boycotting. We're trying to fix the problems. We're trying to address the issues. We're trying to expose the corruption. We're trying to say, this is where all these disgusting people are ruining everything, ruining our entertainment, trying to, make it all about themselves and their agenda. We want this out. But instead, they have the full force of the media attacking everyone who speaks out against it. So, preventable, I don't know. Is anything really preventable is the question. All right. So let's switch gears now. We talked a lot about Dragon Age, Sweet Baby Inc. Now let's talk about what we're going to be covering tomorrow night. And like I said, guys, I think tomorrow my tentative plan is going to be, I can't stream the election stuff early. My kids are going to be home. I don't have the flexibility. I don't have the way of like streaming from my living room and having them go to the other side of my tiny apartment. It just won't work. So I'm still going to plan on hopping on around like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And I'm going to just pick up the pieces of wherever we currently are and run with it. And I will stream as late as I possibly can. I still have to go to work the next day, possibly, unless I decide not to. Well, like I said, I have that fun Vox Populi game we can kind of like play in the meantime when there's no election results coming in. Yeah, and that's like that joke about, if you went camping and you woke up with a sore butt and Vaseline on your butt, would you tell anybody? And no matter if you say yes or no, the person asking you the question is like, okay, so you want to go camping? Yeah. No, dude, I've had Bud Light once or twice in my entire adult life, and it tastes like shit. I hate light beer. I'm a beer snob. I have to have really good beer to begin with. Or if you give me like a Budweiser or Corona or something like that on tap, like I'll drink it on tap. But out of a can, hell no. Out of a bottle, not likely. I like Hefeweizen, I like Leinenkugels. Blue Moon's okay. I like decent beer. I don't do the really, really cheap, shitty beer. So, the biggest news today, which my wife told me about after she got home with the kids from the Y, I had no idea. Apparently, freaking Joe Rogan actually endorsed Trump, which I think is massive. And again, this is coming from somebody who outside of the JD Vance interview and the Donald Trump interview, I don't really watch Joe Rogan. I'll see the clips online. I'm not like some Joe Rogan simp or, I don't cling on to every word he says. He and I probably wouldn't get along that great on most topics in real life, but he seems like a pleasant guy as it is. So I guess this is the clip that decided it. So we're going to play this. Hopefully this doesn't get copyright claimed. I don't know how Joe Rogan is with some of his stuff. We'll just give it a try.
Somebody killed your squirrel.
Yeah, John Wick.
Yeah, the fucking squirrel thing is bananas.
Yeah,
that squirrel thing in New York.
Thing, so here's the thing about the whole squirrel thing is that how can it be that we live in America, supposedly land of the free, and the government can barge into your home with guns, so if you resist, you're going to get shot, and then take your pets and execute them. And if they can do that to your pets, what do you think they can do to you?
Now, my wife brought up some funny things about this. Yeah, Rogan is, as far as I know, he was. I don't think he's ever backed off that position about being a Bernie bro. Like I said, I don't think he's the smartest individual on the planet. I don't think he's like, the second coming of Christ or something like that. I think Rogan has a fantastic platform. I think he's a very cool guy in the fact that he'll have conversations about anything with anybody. And that's a very rare thing from somebody with that size of a platform. So I like Joe Rogan. It's not that I don't like him. I'm not like I don't go out of my way to watch Joe Rogan. It's just never been a thing I've done. But the fact that he'll have conversations with people, like he said he wouldn't even let Trump on his podcast originally because he didn't want to give him a platform to promote him. Now here we are 3 or 4 years later, and he had the freaking man on his platform. Like, kudos to Joe Rogan on that one.
I know that's not an exaggeration.
Absolutely.
It sounds like you're oh, that's so crazy. How can you make that connection? But why would you kill that cute little squirrel that was obviously a pet and trained from the time it was a baby?
Yes.
If you see the interaction that guy has with that squirrel, it was wonderful. It was really cute.
Yes.
Now, they've tried to go after this guy too. I guess because of the fact that he and his wife do like OnlyFans stuff. Somebody was saying that he had like dude on dude kind of content that he made. And again, gross, but I don't care. It has nothing to do with the squirrel. But I guess my wife was bringing up the fact that I don't know if they had there was the issue where they had their account linked to promote their OnlyFans to the squirrel account on TikTok, or if the TikTok account was being used to funnel people to the OnlyFans. I know that his wife had originally immigrated from another country. So again, he mentioned that she had they were questioning her about her immigration status. There was a lot more to it. And then, of course, they didn't have their body cameras on, but somebody apparently got bit by the squirrel, which is why they took the squirrel and the raccoon. I don't know. It all sounds like a bunch of BS to me personally.
Absolutely. It was just obviously it was a beloved pet squirrel and a raccoon too, and doing no harm. And the government comes in, barges into the guy's house, takes his pets and kills them. And I think this should really get people out there mobilized, frankly, because when you see that the John Wick movie, where John Wick's he just wants peace,
it is funny too, talking about cops or agents going into your house and seizing your pets or taking this or that, or in the case of some situations where the animal doesn't know the person's not a threat and then they charge the cop and the cop shoots them. There's nothing in my life I hate watching more than cops shooting people's dogs. Those videos, it's something in there just boils my blood. And I'm not anti-cop. I got a brother who's a freaking sheriff. It's like, I respect law and order. I generally follow the laws and play by the rules. But I am so sick and tired of seeing cops shooting animals. So for me, that's something that just instantly sets me off. I hear that shit and I get angry.
In the John Wick movie, just want to see. He's like, listen, I want to retire, and they offer him like tons of money, like to eat because they want him to be an assassin, to keep being an assassin. Like they like offer him tons of money. They threaten him. He's like, listen, I'm not gonna be. I'm out. You know, and they kill his dog. That was a bad idea. That was a really.
They killed that cute little puppy, and the puppy was his ex-wife's gift to him when she died of cancer.
Yeah,
great movie.
Great movie.
Well, yeah, and Avernum, the thing is, the story didn't line up with what the couple said. He's like, you know, they came in and they're looking for the squirrel and this and that, and then the story that the cops gave was that, or they weren't cops, they worked for the environmental services there, was that, you know, in searching the house, they got bit by the squirrel, which is why they seized the squirrel. I don't know. Dude, I have no clue. And again, because they didn't have body cameras on, we can't get the full story.
The best revenge movie of all time. Because it's so ridiculous. He kills everybody.
Yeah, he kills everyone.
And you're rooting for him.
Yeah. They shouldn't have killed his dog.
Yeah, they fucked up. And they shouldn't have killed that squirrel.
They shouldn't have killed that fucking... That squirrel, I mean... It's like, how many...
Oh, it was a chonker. It was a big boy.
Oh, look at that little guy. And that squirrel clearly had a love relationship with that guy. He would hop all over him.
Oh, massive red flag, dude.
I mean, that was his pet.
This is one of those situations where I've gotten into run-ins with my mom because she's very much that age where always pro-military, always pro-cop, and it's like, and I've got a brother in each. So I've got an officer, brother in the Army, and a brother who's a sheriff, and it's like, well, I'm not anti-military, I'm not anti-cop. I don't want my military or my brother going over to fight some war in the middle of the godforsaken desert, killing people for no reason, or getting himself injured or killed. And the same goes for my brother. It's like, I want him to be doing the jobs police are supposed to do, not, you know, having, going into people's houses and taking their animals or their weapons or arresting them for stupid shit or somebody getting beat up or shot or killed and then having a police union cover for dirty cops. It's not anti-cop or anti-military to not want corruption, you know? But again, that's one of those contentious issues I feel that always comes up. It's like, oh, you're no, I'm not anti this. Just stop. I'm anti-government overreach and authoritarianism.
That squirrel thought of that man as his protector, as his companion.
Yes.
You know? There was nothing wrong with that. And in Texas, it's totally legal. You could have a fucking zebra out here. You could have whatever you want. And that's the argument for freedom. And, you know, the flip side is you get a bunch of people with tigers in their backyard, which is not great.
Dude, I've seen that. I've seen that argument people have tried to make, like, oh, what do you care about animals more than people? Well, first off, I don't care about animals more than people. I care about my pets, my animals, more than some other people. But that's because my pets are, like, they're not as important as my kids, but they're like having another form of child. Like, for me, it's like... my first dog, I mean, we had dogs growing up my whole life, but like my first dog I got when I was 21 and I had her for 13 years and having to put her down was like the saddest day of my life practically. And I've lost relatives, but something about having that dog since I was single, meeting my wife, having kids with my wife, and that dog knew all of my children. That was sadder than anything I'd ever experienced practically in my entire adult life. And so, yeah, animals are that's just a for people who want to be like, oh, you care more about a dog than a person. Not all dogs and not all people. Case by case basis, you know.
It's like this was a fucking squirrel. It's not. It's not an anaconda or or you know crocodile or something that's
or a
harm.
chimpanzee. Did you see Chimp Crazy?
Oh man, chimps will eat your face. Okay?
They will fuck you up.
They will fuck
and
you
they don't
up.
even. The thing is, they don't even kill you. They just cripple you. Chimps don't even kill people.
Oh, chimps are,
which is really weird. They just bite
chimps.
your hands off. And...
My two favorite animals growing up were killer whales and chimpanzees. Highly intelligent, both. Both of them were very much apex predators. I mean, there are things that can kill chimpanzees, but in a group of chimpanzees, a family or a pack of those guys, no, it'd be hard to do a lot of damage. But like killer whales are friggin' badass. I love those things. But chimpanzees are mean, nasty buggers. You start seeing these videos like the one where they take that otter out of the little entry area, the little river at that zoo or some shit, and they just pull that otter out of the water and they beat the thing to death. And I'm talking, they're just throwing it through the air. It's insane. You're not gonna make any jokes on chimps too easy. Hey, good on
Bite
you.
your dick
You
off.
resisted the
Tear your
urge.
face apart.
Yes.
They want to leave you. They could kill you easily. If a chimp
Yeah.
wanted to just punch you in the head until you're dead, it wouldn't take long. But they don't kill you. They just rip you apart.
Okay, now I want to see Joe Rogan fight a chimp. I'm not even kidding. Look at the size of this man's neck. I feel like with that face, that head, and that neck, Joe Rogan is the guy that could survive a chimp attacking him.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
You can have a chimp.
My money's on Joe Rogan if he gets attacked by a
Well,
chimp.
you used to be able to have a chimp in a lot of states, and then Chimp Crazy kind of exposed a lot of that. And PETA did a great job of stopping people from keeping chimps as pets.
Oh, don't say
Once
PETA
they
did
hit,
a good
like,
job of
5,
anything,
you
Joe.
can't
Come
control them
on.
anymore.
Well, it's obviously totally understandable if somebody's got, a creature that is dangerous to others. But,
Right.
obviously a squirrel and a raccoon are not.
Well,
And-
squirrels are fucking everywhere. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah,
like,
why
why
not
can't you
just-
have it in the house?
Yeah,
What
so
kind of rule-
like I've said before, I live in a state where right now I could go out in the yard at any morning of the week and take out my 22 and pop a squirrel, and there'd be another one in its place the next day. We have no shortage of squirrels and raccoons in Washington. They are freaking everywhere. So for me personally, some squirrel dies, I don't care. It's an animal. Animals out in the wild get eaten by their animals. That's what they're there for. That's part of the ecosystem. But it's the reality that this was somebody's pet, which is absolutely like horrific, you know? Oh, he could totally play Kingpin. So Vincent, here's my thing. We are down to the final episode of season 1, or I think we either finished it last night and we're on to season 2 now. The thing about Vincent D'Onofrio, and I freaking love Vincent D'Onofrio, he was fantastic on Criminal Intent. I guess he is on the spectrum and or has dyslexia or something. So the dude is always the same in every role he's in. Vincent D'Onofrio doesn't take on a different type of role. He's the same guy in Daredevil that he was in Criminal Intent. He's just a villain instead of the good guy. And I'm okay with that because I love his acting. I love the way that he just appears on screen. But I'm not getting much difference in Criminal Intent Vincent D'Onofrio from the Kingpin character. You know, it's still Vincent D'Onofrio, even with like the fattier face and stuff. But no, he's great in the role.
rules are we dealing with? You have rats everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, they're allowing criminals to go free and like violent criminals to go free, but they're like spending your tax dollars to come in and execute your fucking pets. What the hell is going on?
Exactly.
And it's like,
but it's overreach.
It's government overreach, and this just keeps getting worse every year.
So yeah, I mean, from Rogan being a Bernie bro to where he's actually endorsing Trump now, I think these moments, and again, he talks to everybody. So he just talked to Fetterman the other day, and it was absolutely hilarious because Fetterman, I don't know how to feel about Fetterman. That man, his brain is so broken, but at the same time, he's so fun to watch. Every moment, I think that Joe Rogan talks to somebody who's coming from a different background and gets a little more information to just kind of put in that giant dome of his and let it kind of roll around. It's another moment where he's getting a different perspective, which is, again, something most of us don't see because we kind of get isolated in our echo chambers. And so from Joe Rogan's perspective, 3 years ago, he's like, I'm not going to let Trump on my platform. I'm not going to endorse him. I don't want to vote for him. To where here he is now, and it's like, they really did forget Ruby Ridge? No, dude, for real. For real. There are so many other examples you can use of governments being absolutely horrific. Yeah, okay, a squirrel and a raccoon. Like I said, in the grand scheme of things, there's millions of them in my state, so it's no big deal. It's the fact that they went into somebody's house. But yeah, no, this is definitely not the most horrific thing a government's ever done.
We've got to fight back against this. It's... People say, like, well, it's just a squirrel.
Well, and I think, to your point, NS, nowadays you have TikTok, you've got Instagram, you've got all the virality of it. That doesn't apply to Ruby Ridge, whereas this has, again, a squirrel with millions of followers. It's in every home across America. Somebody on their phone is watching videos of the squirrel, and tomorrow it's, oh yeah, the government just killed that squirrel, you know? There's that relatability factor. Doesn't make that more horrible, it's that ability for people to actually relate, you know?
It was, in John Wick's case, it was just a dog.
Right.
He really likes the John Wick analogy.
Well, remember the Russian guy said, it's a fucking dog. It's just a fucking dog. Can I have a chinchilla? My daughter has girls are so ruthless during mating. So like one female is just running away. Like I have
all right. So yeah, basically this kind of led up to, I guess, before or after the podcast, he actually came out and said, great and powerful Elon Musk. It wasn't for him, we'd be effed. He makes what I think is the most compelling case for Trump you'll hear, and I agree with him every step of the way. For the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump. Enjoy the podcast. So again, this is the first time Joe Rogan's actually come out and said he's endorsing somebody, which is pretty incredible. Now, there's a lot of these cringe endorsements. I don't know if, let me find these. Here we go. We got Joy Reid being completely unhinged like she always is.
We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism.
And I don't even think we need to play the other 2.5 minutes of that crap. But again, the media doing this kind of crap. Then you've got Christina Aguilera coming out and endorsing Kamala. We've already seen Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Richard Gere, all these creepy old actors who once upon a time I had fond memories of, you know, growing up watching them. Harrison Ford came out and did this crazy video. Until Dank made a video. Oh, dude, I haven't watched a good Dank video in a while. Dank does some fantastic, like, deep dives. Dude, okay, so without getting too specific about where I live in my state, at times in the past, I have been not too far from the area in his video talking about the hilltop shooting in Washington with the shootout between the military guys and the gangs. Yeah, I know that area pretty well. I've had to go through it many times. It's not as bad now as it was, but it's absolutely insane. Like the shit that I didn't even realize was a thing here in my own state. Sounds like he's announcing the arrival of a monarch. Well, he kind of is in a way. I mean, Elon is a tech king at this point, is he not? It's absolutely insane. But yeah, you got like freaking. Okay, so you got Kamala. Where is this clip of Kamala? It's not this one. I've got. Oh, all right. So today, after her cringe SNL appearance, which was absolutely god awful, wretched, it was so bad I can't subject you guys to it. I'm not going to watch it again because. Personally, I got in the brain when we were watching it the first time. Now we got Kamala doing her McDonald's, her garbage truck, going door to door, knocking on doors. Okay? I don't see anybody complaining about this being staged. These people would be the type to censor anime, yeah. Oh, Bourbon, it's just my computer. Stop barking. Oh, yeah, I put my dog in a sweater. All right, so there's something about that. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how many of you guys have been married or have a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. But, like, yeah, he's in a sweater. I'm that person. But my wife never answers the door. Like, if someone knocks at the door, if I'm home, I'm the one that answers it. You got this chubby, liberal-looking white woman who answers the door, and then out behind her comes her pathetic, sad sack of a husband for this completely staged, oh yeah, Kamala going around asking for people to vote for her, knocking on doors. Like, give me a freaking break. As far as optics go, this is awful. It's like she could have done Joe Rogan. She could have done anything possible, and this is what she went with. Like, look at the size of that entryway. That's probably some freaking mansion, okay? It's just unreal. Yeah, so this is what Kamala's doing. SNL and a few staged videos where she's knocking on doors. Oh, and this is great. So I'm not going to do the SNL thing, but guys, this one here, if you haven't seen this, I don't know what the hell she was doing. She tries starting her own chant. And it's pretty cringe.
Let's vote. Let's get out the 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 vote. Let's win. All right, let's get to work.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Like, how do you live with yourself? Here you are, you're trying to start this chant. You're trying to get these people who are here to actually, like, go along with it. But holy crap. You look through the people menacingly, but if it's someone you don't know, then you can stand there till next year. Dude, here's the thing. Nobody likes answering the door. Nobody likes answering the door. But if I'm home, it's just like my wife's phone. She doesn't answer her phone if it's a number she doesn't know. And then she'll let these numbers call her like a dozen times before, you know, they finally like leave her, make her voicemail box full. If my wife's phone's ringing and she doesn't want to answer it, I'll answer it and say, who the hell's this? You know, I don't care. So I answer the door, I answer the phone. I'm that person where it doesn't bother me to have to do it. But yeah, this right here, this was actually worse than her SNL appearance. Yeah, very diverse crowd. Dude, oh my God. I live in a town full of rich, liberal, white people. They all have Harris Walls signs all over their $1 million houses' front yards, okay? They're all white. So, yeah. No wonder she doesn't want it, the McDonald's job. Well, Peter Harbin, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, it's one of those things where I understand the Trump things, okay? The McDonald's thing, the garbage truck, all those things are staged. We all know it's staged. They're all photo ops. I understand that. I'm okay with it. I get it, okay? You can't have a candidate for the presidency of the most powerful nation on this planet going door to door, knocking on doors. Clearly, that's a safety issue. You can't have that. But of all the possible optics, the McDonald's thing was viral. The garbage truck thing was hilarious. Wearing the vest on stage after at a rally was genius. This, optics-wise alone, she has no business being in the same race as Trump, just based on optics. And this is the thing. This is where they want to be like, memes are evil, memes are right-wing. It's like, yeah, because these guys got no meme game. That's the problem. They got nothing. And then, yeah, I saw somebody share this, and I'm really hoping we get a repeat of this tomorrow night. I'm really hoping. I want the race called like within the first 4 by midnight my time. So I think the polls close at what, 5 or 6 or whatever. So by like midnight my time, give it like 5-6 hours. I'd like to go to bed knowing who's won. Why is this not playing? Oh, screw you. I'm just gonna refresh it. Here we go. This was beautiful to watch. I'm not even gonna lie. And the funniest thing was the first time around, I was not a Trump supporter. I voted Trump because he was the guy with the R next to his name and he wasn't Hillary. I didn't love him. Didn't like him that much. Wasn't sure about how good of a job he'd do. But this right here, we need a repeat of this, but like on steroids. The thing is, Hillary somehow, despite what an evil, despicable human being she is, some, you know, necromancer like in a flesh suit, she somehow had more popularity, more genuine popularity than Kamala Harris. And I don't understand how that's even possible. Like, how is it possible people liked Hillary better than Kamala? I get that Kamala's annoying as hell. She's cringe. She cackles too much. She's got word salad. She's got, like, shit for brains. I get all that. But Hillary is freaking evil, man. I don't get it. How did Hillary have this kind of, like, momentum? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. The fat white woman saying F you to Donald Trump on the screen. So good. Yeah, and I remember at the time, I was terrified. I was like, holy crap, if Hillary Clinton gets into office, we're done. Like, that woman, oh my God. I can't think of many people on this planet who I think are truly more evil than Hillary Clinton. She's probably up there with some of the worst. So, yeah, tomorrow's going to be interesting, guys. It's going to be very interesting. I'm not quite sure what to expect. But if you guys are around, I know that there's going to be a lot of huge streams and stuff. I'm just going to be here chilling. Like I said, I'll keep an eye on the polls. I'll probably just keep Twitter open, see what's what. We'll check out that Vox Populi game. That way I don't have to stream it on Wednesday. Just you know, maybe break up the monotony of sitting staring at the polls. Oh, dude, Hillary... I honestly believe 99% of everything that I've ever heard about Hillary. All the rumors, all the conspiracies, the lizard people, the adrenochrome. I wouldn't put any of it past that family, dude. Well, at this point, Natsuno, I think it's too late for Hillary to run again. I can't believe she's still alive, to be honest. After 2016, when they had to keep shoving her into SUVs because of the fact that she was like having seizures and shit. At one point, she could barely walk. They took her into like this hotel or apartment complex or whatever. Apparently her doctor lived in that complex, and then they pulled her back out and she's walking all, you know, chipper and has a spring in her step and shit. And it's like, yeah, they juiced her up pretty good. I think that's it, guys. I don't think there's too much more to go over. It's been personally kind of a quiet day as far as I've seen, as far as the news. And oh my gosh, Eric Kane at Forbes disappointed in Joe Rogan. Look, Eric Kane is a fantastic reporter. He does great work, great articles. He's very fair. He's very balanced when it comes to not injecting his own political beliefs into his articles, talking about things like video games and movies and TV shows. That being said, I have such a hard time with people who can be like that, who genuinely think that Kamala Harris is the better option. It doesn't make any sense, straight across the board. I don't get it. All those symptoms are called adrenochrome withdrawal. Yeah, it's very possible. She's Biden 2.0, but worse. Honest to God, okay. First off, a lot of people have done this, and I hate this. I do not like revisionist history. I don't. And I kind of feel this way about the Star Wars prequels. Sorry, guys, the Star Wars prequels sucked. Okay, I know a lot of people grew up with the Star Wars prequels, so that was their first introduction to Star Wars. Those movies sucked. They just were not good movies. However, they were better than Disney. I will give you that. In the same way, a lot of people now have said, oh, you know, Biden wasn't that bad. Biden could have been decent if he wasn't controlled by the party, or Biden could have been okay if he hadn't had his dementia. The Biden family is horrible. Joe Biden is a complete creep, like Epstein levels of creep, based on my own personal opinion of things that we've seen and heard, especially with his son and his connections to China and Ukraine and the money and all the crap that we've seen and the way he acts around children. But people act like Biden, like they feel bad for Biden now that he's got the dementia or whatever. It's like, dude, this guy is scum, okay? I don't feel bad for Biden. I never have and I never will. I don't give a rat's ass. If somebody is a horrible person, just getting dementia or Alzheimer's or cancer doesn't make them less of a horrible human being. It just means that we're all human, you know? So I can't stand it. Investigator did not embed a massive fraud. Yeah, NS, honestly, I believe up until the most recent few elections that they've always been decided by the parties and not by the popular or the electoral vote, for that matter. FJB, yeah, David. Honestly, like, it's the same way I feel about Obama or Clinton or George W. at this point. They all suck. They're all terrible people. Why am I going to care? You know, if one of them gets sick or ill, or these are all truly awful people who have been responsible for the deaths of millions of people needlessly. We're not talking about like getting involved in a war to truly protect your own country. These are all people who have sent millions of young men to slaughter, to their own death, to slaughter people all over the world. I mean, it's insane. And I believe truly up until the last couple of elections, up until Trump in 2016 for sure, that there was never truly a fair election that we can point to. I mean, honestly, since probably the 1910, 1920s, there probably hasn't been an election that hasn't been decided behind the scenes. So that being said, guys, it's going to be interesting to watch. It's going to be a crazy night. I hope there's no shenanigans, but unfortunately, I'm kind of feeling like there's going to be. But I'll be here, even if you guys have other places to be. If you want to check in, great. Otherwise, I understand. And I'm gonna turn in a little early tonight. That way I can make sure that I'm rested for tomorrow. Because like I said, tomorrow could be a very late night. I will probably have at least 1 or 2 margaritas, depending on what I have in the fridge. Maybe some beer. I don't know what I've got. That being said, guys, I'm gonna hit the hay. NS, thank you for the gifted memberships, dude. You are always too generous. I really appreciate it, man. All the rest of you guys, Avern, I'm worried. I say again, it needs to be too big to rig. It needs to be something where even if they pull some shenanigans, like I'm truly believing Arizona is probably lost, but maybe they can swing Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, one of those states, maybe even Michigan. David Chan, good night, dude. Avernum, NS, Natsuno, Lugia, all you guys, I'm going to hit the hay. I will hopefully see some of you guys tomorrow. And if not, God help us all, right?